morning and welcome to Oz by Drone. I'm Greg.
And I'm John. Hey everybody, how you doing?
Hey, for those who are wondering, we were meant to have iSpike in the seat today. John had planned in advance to do something else, but we're having some technical issues getting Spike into the frame, but we've got John for a couple of minutes while Spike tries to get into the channel in the back.
I am a technical issue, so happy to help.
You've got lots of issues, but anyway, thanks for being around for a little bit anyway.
No worries, man.
What's happening this week? You've been doing all sorts of noise-related things.
Yeah, I've been doing the music gig this week. It's been fun actually up in Brisbane.
I saw you making some noise.
Oh yeah, with a trumpet. That's all it was really. You couldn't really call it music, but it was great fun. We had about 120 kids. And it was a music camp for 3 days. Coming back to our subject, though, last night I launched the Drone Camp website. It's gone live, and we're taking deposits. This is an early bird one because we're going to launch it on the 1st of October. But people want to get in and have a look. The website is dronecamp.info. And have a look at 3 days of some really fantastic stuff. Check out the site. And you can, well, we're going to do it. We're going to ask people to put deposit down to hold a slot. We'll only take 60 pilots for Drone Camp, high school age guys to do it to start with, and girls, of course, guys and girls, high school age, and it'll be a lot of fun. And you get your own Tello drone to fly as part of the camp, so that'll be really cool. Going to be fun.
Absolutely.
Do a bit of programming, and anyway, on with the show. That's great.
Looking forward to it. And this week, you know, I've been out flying my Phantom again. It's good to have it back in my hands and have the sticks, you know.
I heard you earned some dollars with it in the first week back, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Doing a roof inspection, but, you know, we're not here to talk about roofs, but it was interesting. I'll say this much. The wind forecast was only like 6 kilometres an hour, and by the time I got there, it was a little bit more than that. But
yeah, it always does that. And you had a good time anyway. That's good on you, mate. That's great.
Absolutely. So let's move on and have a look at some news. Now, John, I don't know if you've had a chance to have a look at the stuff in the background, so...
Go right ahead. Okay. I know
Okay.
all about Reno, and I'm loved to hear that because I've been over there and I've been to the Reno Air Races in 1993, and it was just awesome.
So the first story that we've got is Australia versus Reno, and the interesting thing here is that in Reno, a company called Mass Device has boasted the first complete AED deliveries via drone. Now, for those of you who are regulars on our show, I just want to do a quick little time warp back to something from, what was it, two weeks ago, 2 shows ago. Let's just play this clip.
Drones carrying life-saving medical supplies may soon be used as a delivery service in Victoria for patients in difficult-to-access areas. The Australian first testing is being done at a brand-new research facility.
So the reminder here is that we actually did this 2 weeks ago, and Reno's claiming first, so Australia versus US, we won.
Yay.
Not that that's the important thing. It's good that regardless of who's first or whatever, that we're having a look at you know, using drones in medical purposes, lives, and it's really
Delivery. Yeah.
in terms of the Reno solution. They're looking at some solution where it's totally autonomous as opposed to piloted, and the one pilot in control is actually delivering to multiple places at the same time, potentially. So that's their solution.
Can I just say, though, you know, about, I'm not to take anything away from all that good work, delivering a package like that with these aircraft is child's play. It really is, man. You know, the things we're doing with them, to drop a package on the ground. I mean, you know, I got high school kids that can do that, but here...
And they'll be doing it at Drone Camp,
They'll be doing it at Drone Camp as well. I mean, we make a big deal about the news. What they're probably saying is, oh, here's a big deal. We got past the regulations to do it.
That is the big deal.
That's the big deal, isn't it? But the actual function itself is really, really easy compared to, I mean, you can program the thing. If you've got to have AI, so it's got to find the patient, then that's a different deal as well too. But just that's not doing that. That's just sending it to a pre-programmed place. Someone's probably flying it. Who knows? Drop it down and give it. And, you know, I'm just saying that because we're all flyers here and we know what the airplanes will do. But, you know, we love the way the media talks it up, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, oh, look, we got in the car now and it's got reverse. It goes backwards as well as forwards. How exciting. Look at that. Put it in R and it goes backwards. That's amazing.
Absolutely. I've just posted the link to the rendezvous thing into the chat for Spike. He's having some trouble getting on, so I've posted that back again. In the meantime, let's have a look at our second story. Search and rescue. So obviously after a lot of the weather events recently, particularly in the US, a company by the name of No Limit Drones has made available to people doing legitimate search and rescue work free keys which will unlock your drone, so you will have no-fly zone restrictions. You will be able to fly anywhere you need to fly in an emergency situation.
Hallelujah.
Now, yeah, so this company, we'll just put up a image on the screen, and I realise Spike's just joining us, so we're trying to do two things at once. He'll be here shortly, but let's put up the picture for this one on the screen. There it is. So there's the logo for No Limit Drones, and the concept is, you know, it's not, my opinion, it's not the job of manufacturers to regulate, it's the job of regulators to regulate. And we got a story in a moment about how this can be done better. You know, it really should be your local government authorities deciding where you can or cannot fly, and not a third-party company. That's my opinion. And No Limit Drones certainly unlocks your ability to fly where you need to fly.
Yep.
So at this point, John, I know you had things that you need to do. We finally got Spike in the background, so I'll say goodbye to you now, John. Thank you for being in the background.
I actually want to get in now, watch the rest of the show, because I can see Spike's screen coming up over here, and he's got some kind of mad red thing in the background. I want to know if that thing flies, man. I want to know if that thing flies, all right? So, all right.
We'll definitely get there. So we'll say goodbye to you, John. And Spike, we can't hear you for a little while until we put your audio in, so just stick around. And in the meantime, I'm going to go to the next story. So
sitting on the side. See you guys.
See you, John. Okay, so the next story is airwear, and we've got a photo of that one that we'll put up in the screen very shortly, as my producer is now doing 5 things at once. Story number 3, 1.3. It was just a logo, so airwear will put up into the screen instead of there. That one. There we go. So Airwear is a company that had been making software. After 7 years of business, Airwear has closed its doors. They do solutions where you can have business-related planning, mission planning, and AI and intelligence and stitching together of photos and all of that kind of stuff. That's what they were into. But unfortunately, they've closed their doors. So a lot of people had been banking on the drone industry and thinking that there was lots of money to be made. Yes, there is, but obviously they were a little bit too early, or that's their claim. And unfortunately, as a result, they have ceased doing business. But moving on from that, and hi Spike, are you there? Just checking audio. Nothing. Our end's right, but now I got nothing for you.
Hang on, how's that?
There we go. That's good.
Righto.
Let's move on. Let's move on. So we'll get into the next story. The next one is LAANC, L-A-A-N-C, which is Low Altitude Authorization and Notification Capability. It's a big, long set of words, which basically means the FAA have finally completed the delivery of this service in the US. So people who are going to be flying in the US for commercial purposes, they can get authorization to fly in particular areas. We've got a photo. We'll just chuck it on the screen. So this is a simple little photo. On the web, it's animated. Unfortunately, it didn't come through that way over here. But if you can imagine, you, the pilot, talk to your app talks to different databases and so on, and you're communicating and making aware where you're flying for what purposes and getting approval to do that. Now, this relates back to what I was talking about before. And did we just lose? No, it's all right. I thought someone disappeared on the screen. This relates to what I was talking about before with regard to No Limit Drones. This is the way it should work. So instead of DJI controlling where you can and cannot fly, the LANC service, in my opinion, should be tied into the DJI Go app. You say, I want to fly here, it's in a no-fly zone, and it's not DJI that approve. It should be the US FAA or equivalent in whichever country you're in. What do you think, Sparky?
Yeah, exactly. I was sort of reading some of the, sorry, Greg, I was reading the chat there, some of the comments. I wasn't really listening to what you were saying. You were up to, where are you up to?
I'm doing 1.4, so let's move on and we'll go to 1.5.
Right. Okay.
Drones help track endangered swift parrots. Let's have a look at the video.
Would you like me to read as this is being played, Greg?
Sure, absolutely.
I've been practicing. Ladies and gentlemen, here on the iSpike drone news, we have the swift parrot, which is one of the most certainly endangered species in Australia, has been tracked by drones in New South Wales Riverina. All in order to protect the remaining parrots left and ensure the survival of the species.
You've got a voice for radio there, mate. You should be a newsreader.
I am the newsreader, and I'm so bloody,
today.
I'm so, how you say, frustrated that at last minute nothing worked. But now here we are,
Absolutely.
and we're going to smash it, ladies and gentlemen, around the world.
Absolutely. And I think that's, you know, using drones to help track endangered species, it's a really, really good use of the technology. A lot of people, you know, they have concerns relating to interfering with wildlife. But if you do it respectfully, you can do things to help wildlife rather than to interfere with them. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Oh, and Mr. Spike has disappeared off the screen. We're having fun with the internet today. Well, he's back. He's back. Story 1.6. Let's go. Thank you, Spike. So just imagine this. Here's the picture. You're at the Maya Music Bowl and you've got a drone buzzing overhead and it sees this guy, iSpike, go and enter and he's going to watch carols by candlelight. And Spike sits down and he drops his backpack on the ground there and all of a sudden he leaves, goes to the dunny, quickly goes to the dunny, then pops out of that and then runs away. So the good thing is this technology is using some AI to go and detect that Spike has been a naughty boy and go and get his backpack. So it's a good idea.
Yeah, I know. They'll find my stash. I mean, cigarettes. Yeah, that's not a good thing. We'd like to move on to the global news. Global news there, iSpike drone, Greg. Copy, over.
I think that's all we've got. I clipped that last one out because I didn't like that story. But let's move on to... Moving
right along, ladies and gentlemen.
We have our guest and welcome Malus Vex, or what is your real name again?
Christopher.
Christopher. I just thought I'd ask in case you didn't want to share it. Welcome, Chris.
Yeah. Cheers, mate.
G'day,
Good
Chris.
to be here.
So Christopher is an FPV pilot, and we've had a look at some of his video content before, and I thought it'd be cool to have him on and have a chat today. In particular, let's just start playing that video in the background and we'll chat as we go.
Awesome. Yes, this was a fun spot.
So this is really showcasing parts of Australia, which is absolutely awesome, which is, you know, we are iSpike drones, so we absolutely need to have a look at this. But the FPV flying compared to, you know, the traditional phantom flying or whatever people want to call it, looks absolutely beautiful. And you've got some munchkins in the background there, I see.
Yeah. Yeah, he wants to know if he can go play next door. No, lady, not right now.
Yeah.
Don't right now.
So here's my question, right? I'm not an FPV flyer, and we had a chat about this before, but some of the maneuvers that you're doing there, so starting at the very basic one, just rolling a little bit or tilting your aircraft, if I do that with my Phantom, it's not going to tilt the camera. The camera is gimbal mounted, so that's fine. But instead, the aircraft is going to move left. But I see you in a number of occasions tilting the aircraft and continuing to go straight ahead.
Yeah, you got to tilt the other way with the other control. I'm not the best at turns, but yeah, as it happens, it just comes second nature.
Yeah,
it's so you eventually get so fluent at it, and you just do stuff without even realizing sometimes.
So you're tilting left with right stick and tilting right with left stick.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay, so you're yawing at the same time. That's a really simple maneuver, but what about some of the other stuff that you're doing there? Talk to us about some of your moves.
Say when you do a full spin, depending on what angle you've got the drone facing, like looking forward, is how much sort of twist you got to add to it while you're spinning to keep the camera directly in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but once you get it down pat, it's so rewarding. Yeah, especially when you get home, watch your footage, and you're like, oh.
And how did you get into it in the first place? Where did it start for you?
To be truthful, another YouTube channel called UAV Futures.
Okay, I have heard of that one. I think I'm subscribed.
Yeah, he had a drone video, how to build your own racing drone for $100, US. So I had a look at that. I seen how much it cost.
And there's your Munchkin. I left him on the screen. I assume it's your Munchkin.
Yeah.
And then moving into some more content here. This is at a different location.
Yeah, I was doing some tree diving here.
This is absolutely insane. Just looking at, getting through the trees.
Yeah, you don't always make it.
Just before the show went to air, we were talking, and you mentioned that you go through how many props?
At least, usually a couple of bags per session.
And that was the word that just I cacked up at. You're using bags of props, not just one or two prop changes.
Yeah, a couple
you
of
measure
bags.
it by the bags.
Yeah, the most I've ever gone through in one session was 3 or 4.
And Spike, we can hear you too. Oh, it's okay.
Okay. Yes, I'm all right. Shh, please.
Let me turn down Spike, and we've got the kids in the background as well. Every fader I've got, anyway. So, tell me about your aircraft that you're flying with anyway.
I can go and get it if you like.
Yeah, let's do that. And let's just put the video on the screen while you're going to get it. Okay, let's put the aircraft on the screen. There we go.
Yeah, that's from a crash the other day.
So what is it? What is the aircraft?
This is all custom built. It's a Impulse Reverb is the frame.
Mm-hmm.
It's got Vex Cobra engines. They're actually really dear ones, but I'd highly recommend it, but they're hard to get. Yeah, it's just pretty much all custom. Got a TBS Unify VTX.
And have you got an electronics background or?
No, I didn't before I had drones. I've always built computers since I was young, but this was the first soldering I got into, but I can pretty much solder now nearly with my eyes shut, so it's all practice.
Yeah, there's someone asking, is that a Wizard?
No, this is a Impulse Reverb.
Yeah. Okay. So we've actually, we're going to keep you around for a little bit longer. By the way, I see Mark Coquio in the room. Mark, I don't know if you knew this, but your video is going to be featured later. Just for everyone who's watching at the moment, the best crash of the year goes to Mark Coquio, also known as Strepto. It's absolutely beautiful. But moving on, we've got a new section of the show that we're going to have from time to time called FPV Corner. Just a chance to feature and play some really cool FPVs. We've been doing a lot of, photographic stuff, but why not feature some really good FPV footage and encourage people to send in their videos as well? Okay, let me turn that down again. There we go. Okay, let's go. FPV Corner.
This clip looks familiar.
Yeah, and it's probably yours.
Yeah.
So this is Outback FPV Adventures episode 9, where you said, "Hey people, I'm at Bald Hill today. Hope you enjoy the upcoming footage." Even followed a kangaroo for a bit.
Yeah, he was so placid. He just stood there. I was really surprised. But yeah, I had such fun this day. I had to walk all the way up the top there too first, and up the top. Yeah, there. I did hit a couple of trees.
That is beautiful. Just as we're sitting watching this, my producer went, "Oh," thought you were about to hit the tree, so. And again,
I was actually pretty lucky. I didn't go for any this day because I was sort of lazy and didn't have it anymore. So I just kept flying off them. I'll admit the last probably 2. That is.
So this was the 7th pack of this particular session in its entirety. Nothing special, just a clean run is what he says about that particular.
This looks like a spot I'd fly at.
Yeah. So I'd like to encourage those people watching today, if you're an FPV flyer, I'd love to have a look at some of your footage as well. Later on in the show, upload at gregkuhnert.com. If you send a link to your video, we'll definitely feature it as part of the show. So that's today's FPV Corner, and we're at the halfway mark kind of thing of today. Is there anything else you'd like to say to people about getting into FPV flying, what they need to do to start?
If you sit about
I'd highly recommend if they're trying to get into it to go through all the YouTube channels, look for the best, easiest startup, because your first drone you are going to crash a lot. I'd recommend a simulator to begin with. It's always better to crash in cyberspace than in real life, and try and just research a lot. Don't buy something that you're going to regret. That's the biggest piece of advice I'd take.
Okay. Look, sounds like fun. Thanks for joining today, and we'll move on to a couple of competitions. But thanks for being here.
Yeah, it was awesome. I really liked it. Cheers. Cheers, man. Really appreciative. I've only been flying about 9 months, so yeah.
Look,
thanks.
I've only just bought a simulator myself to go and try the FPV stuff, but I've got to get a controller first, but I'll give it a go soon.
Awesome. I want to see some clips of you up here too.
Absolutely. Okay, thanks, Chris. I'll see you next time.
Yeah, cheers, mate. You have a good day, and same to everyone else.
Thank you.
See you, man.
Let's move on. We've got some orbits. We spoke about this last time. Let's put this up on the screen. The first one we've got is from... Actually, before we do the orbits, we've got something that was a late entry, if you like. So Kerry's Semaphore Sunsets. This was submitted by one of our viewers. Let's have a look at that. Best sunset shots first.
Oh, isn't that stunning?
So this was a collection of shots that was provided to our viewer, and he had so many, and he's going to eventually edit them all together into a bunch of videos, but this is just part one. Some really nice sunsets. Now, I haven't yet got the links to all of the creators in this week's show in the description. I'll put them in a little bit later today, so please do go to those channels and support those guys. They very much will appreciate that.
Yeah. Isn't that beautiful? There's heaven on earth there, right there.
I'm just looking in the background in the chat. Mark is suggesting Liftoff, DRL Sim, Velocidrone are the three good ones. The one I bought was the DRL Sim. I haven't had a look at the other two, but I noticed that DRL Sim was Mac compatible, so that's why I got it anyway. But let's move on from that clip. We've got a couple more to have a look at today. Now, moving from there, this is where we move into the orbits. So the first one was from Chris Hope, who I believe is in the room today.
To do an orbit.
Now, all you Aussies, I've got to say, I didn't have any Aussie orbits submitted, so I'm very, very disappointed.
Oh.
That one was on a Phantom 4. Doesn't say Phantom 4 Pro, but let's just assume Phantom 4 for the moment. Let me see, is Chris in the chat there? There he is. And of course the obligatory look down the top. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Beautiful location. And we've got another one that came from Stan Cook. Is Stan in the chat room today? Let's have a look.
I should have put that one in that on that trike video I did, Greg, going around the big rock.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll sort them out for next week. I've got a nice Telstra tower across the road as well, so I'll do it. Oh, I can't. It'll fix me drone first. We'll talk about that in a minute.
So there's Stan in the chat room as well. So this is a building that he was doing as part of some commercial work, I gather, orbiting that particular building. Both of them very nice manual flights. So the prize, as advertised last week, I'll send you some Vegemite. Both Chris and Stan, send me your address to upload at gregkuhnert.com and I'll send you some Vegemite. We'd love to see you chortling that down at some point. You know what they make Vegemite from though, don't you, Spike? It's the byproduct. You're an Aussie, you're not meant to say that. It's the byproduct of beer. Okay, so 2 very nice orbits. So Chris and Stan, drop me an email and I'll drop you some Vegemite. Speaking of competitions,
congratulations, boys.
We do have a bigger competition running, which is for the DJI Osmo Mobile.
Yes.
We're going to give that away when we hit 1,000. And let's have a look at where we are now. Just out of interest, it'll take a few moments to come up. If it's working today. It's not playing ball. There we go. 700 oh, it's gone down. Who unsubscribed?
Do you know, Greg, that's going on across the board, mate, and I do know a little bit why. Do you want to know why?
Tell me why.
Sure. I found out from YouTube that what's going on is inactive subscribers are being automatically removed. Those that aren't sort of doing anything. I'm not sure what the time frame is, whether it's a few months or whatever, and they're just being pulled from people's channels left, right, and center. Another one.
Oops, Spike has dropped off there. His internet's not playing ball today. He's come back. There we are. He's back.
Of a subscriber is one of the reasons.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mate, it's disappointing as YouTube creators that they're automatically doing that. Maybe if they actually send a message to people who are subscribed to channels, hey, we notice you haven't watched Oz by Drone in a month.
A little while, yeah.
Would you like to unsubscribe?
What I've also found, Greg, is going to the Creator Studio or whatever it is, and then using the beta version. And I've sort of had a bit of a look around as they're slowly going to cross over to it from the standard one. And what am I getting to? In the feedback. Just send them the feedback. What are you suggesting there? Send them the feedback.
One of the ones. Waste of time. They never look at it.
I don't know.
I've sent them feedback. Let's not go there.
Yeah, sure.
But so just a reminder, the Osmo we're going to give away when we hit 1,000 subs. Now I want to give you all a target. Today is, what's the date? 23rd of September.
Yep.
My birthday is in November. 19th of November. I want for a 19th of November birthday party to hit the magic 1,000. So there's the target. I've got to have a target to shoot for. We've already gone a long way from when we started the channel, but that's where I hope we end up at.
Excellent. Well, I wish you well. I think having cool people on like me.
Absolutely. So let's move on from there. We're going to go and we're going to move into our next segment. And I'm going to ask one little favor in the background. Chris, if you could disconnect, just because the amount of bandwidth and it causes buffering, I noticed that you're still on the internal thing in the background. So thank you.
Yeah, I love you, Chris, man.
See you, Chris. We've also got Greg Hilton in the background. We're just going to put his audio into the shot. So Greg is the person who puts together our Oz videos every week. Welcome, Greg. Whoops, not quite there. Try again. No.
Hey, Greg, how you going, mate? Good to talk to you.
Hang on. You and I can hear it, but the audience. There we go. Let's try again. Third time lucky.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Hi, Greg. Hi, everyone.
So what we're going to do...
You're on the 19th.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, I'm on the 21st. Your birthday's the 19th. Mine's the 21st.
Oh, well, it's a good month, Scorpions.
Damn right.
Absolutely. So let's get our Oz video happening. So let's go start that.
This is the solar panel installation. Yes.
Yeah, these guys, they work hard.
And
really
you put
hot
this.
on those roofs.
What's the background with it, Greg? Whereabouts is it?
This is in WA.
No. The solar panel one. Oh, well, the footage may be WA, but certainly the company is out of Silverwater, New South Wales.
Yeah.
Ah, righto. Yep.
There's a shot. Yeah, see the two swans in the window? I thought that was cute. But yeah, hot up there on a summer's day, eh?
Yeah, look, this was a promotional clip, but it was still good to include it just to show people who are not Aussies what our average neighbourhood looks like. And obviously these people flying over so many houses and people in the area, obviously that would have been commercial flights and they would have had special approvals. But let's move on from that. Our second clip now, we had a little bit of a chuckle about this one. This one's already gone into the list. And when we saw this, Greg saw that this was from Jade Lake, WA, which he thought was Western Australia.
Yeah.
It's Jade Lake, Washington.
Thanks, Greg.
So our apologies. This one, our illustrious video selector
and the dog had a backpack on that he got the ring out of. Serpentine Falls, yeah. I don't have a lot of information on that place. It's in... Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, this is Queensland Raceway. Just up the road from me. Yeah, it is. Had a Thrasher Mavic on a Saturday afternoon. I wish. I don't have that sort of money. Yeah. These guys are flying really hard doing this stuff. Five years ago, it didn't exist. It just got out of the way. I think it's been a private piece of land for a long time, and eventually it Mandurah, about 70 clicks south of Perth. It was originally and the Peel Inlet. Yeah, I've got a frozen frame here. Initially it was laid out as a capital city.
And someone was just saying in the chat room that they couldn't hear me. That was me. Audio is really fun today. Just to share with you the fun and joys of Wirecast. You know, I move a knob on my panel that I've got to my left, and every time we change shots, that particular knob is something different. So it's like a lottery if you're going to be able to be heard. Anyway, I'll stop there. And that's the end of Explore Australia for today.
And that last one there was done by DJI Phantom 4 Advanced Pro that was taking the clip that people are looking at right now. So yeah, very, very nice. Good
Very
editing
nice.
as well. Yeah, good editing. Was that Stach Rajowski?
Regalski, something, I don't know.
Yeah, good on you.
I'll put all of those links in the description afterwards. We'll also upload the Oz video as a separate clip, and I will encourage you, for when you play that, up in the left-hand corner of the video, there will be something that you can click for every one of those creators to go to their channel, have a look, support them. That would be really cool. I've created some great content. But speaking of great content, I've got a couple more pieces that I want to share today. So the first one is from one of our viewers who's in the chat room today. And Mark Coquio, also known as Strepto, he is an FPV pilot. And since we're having a bit of an FPV day today, let's go and have a look at this crash.
Oh, into the mountain, yeah. Looking good so far. Excellent. Look at that. Oh, no.
Wait for it.
Oh. Oh, it continues on. Oh, no. Here we go. I've got to watch what's going on the other screen, what people are saying in the chat. Man, tumbling. What drone was this, Greg?
Mark's in the chat room. We'll get him to say. But just out of interest, Spike, you can't hear the audio for this. It's one of the limitations of this software. But at the moment, we're listening to Homer going, dol, dol, dol.
I'll look forward to watching the playback.
And that was just priceless. I'm gathering he tried. I'm gathering that Mark tried to, hit something and it just tried to move it a little bit, but then it went and rolled some more. That was priceless. Anyway, so that was really, really beautiful footage. And I've got one more clip over here to share today. Oh, I've got a couple. Let's do this one. So this one was created by the YouTube channel Safety Fly, remotely piloted film and photography. It's an Australian clip of a boat that was the last operating steam tugboat in Australia, the MV Fearless. It was purchased by $1 and steamed down to its current location. And here's the interesting thing. They're actually looking at restoring it and getting it back to its former glory. But here's some beautiful footage of where it is today. Let's have a look.
Oh, in South Australia there, righto. Port Hedland, that's, Hedland's about, what?
Spike was talking, but he's currently disappeared off my screen. Thank you, Telstra. This show is proudly brought to you by Telstra, Australia's best internet company. He's back again. Beautiful tugboat, and it's good to hear that they're going to be restoring that back. And just to share with you as well, this was purchased for how much? It was purchased for $1, the people who bought that. Absolutely. Yeah. So let's move on to something else. I'm just going to pause. We've got a couple more videos that we're going to share very, very shortly. But before we do that, I want to actually put you full screen for a minute, Spike, and have a look at your room there. Tell me what you've got behind you.
Okay. Well, I understand Jeff Steele's wanted to know if it flies. Jeff, I'm not reading anything, so I'll take them off. Jeff, yes, it flies, mate. If you like, you come over, get on it, ride down the road. It flies. I just got to put my hands out, and yeah, you know, and I've actually had the front wheel up. I haven't had the back wheels up yet, but yeah, very proud of that bike. To my left, I don't know if you see, where are we now? If I point to it, it's in the camera. There we go. Just there's a little, that one there flies as well. Just there. There we go. The old Mavic Pro Ferrari edition is out of action at the moment because, yes, I've had a second bingle, and I'll put it in the camera here. We've got to put another little camera gimbal ribbon back in. So I'm going to make a video.
And there he goes again. Thank you, Telstra, for your wonderful internet service. But at least this time I can say I know it wasn't me because we're still streaming. It's just Spike that's disappearing somewhere else in the Telstra ether. He's back.
But yeah, I put a bit of trouble into my, I don't know why it's not showing. There we go. We show my little iSpike iPad in the background there. And yeah, I spent a bit of time setting up my room for today's live. And it's a shame that I wasn't in a bit earlier. The old tie on and
lots of technical fun and troubles today, but you're looking great, Spike.
Thank you, man. It was just for you, Greg, and iSpike Drone, you know, just a bit of respect.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think Drone Valley, he does a great job, Rick, there, and I thought, well, we got to step up our game. Here we are.
Did you know that you were featured last week as well? Were you watching last week?
No, I wasn't, man. Sorry.
No.
Well, there you go. I'm getting about everywhere.
But let me share with you what it was. We were actually talking about crashing with style. That was the topic. Now, last week we were talking about if you're going to crash, what do you do so that you can hopefully either prevent it or remove the risk of damage to your aircraft and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I can give you one hint for sure.
So what was the answer for your one?
Okay, the answer is that I had all of the obstacle avoidance things in the Mavic Pro 1 activated, right? And then I was flying too close to too much steel or metal, and as a result, the signal just lost. It just did a little bit of a flyaway towards the left, and of course, consequently hit the wall. It fell to the ground. So I've since done some research, and in hindsight, I should have been flying in ATI mode. And of course, yourself, Greg, you told me that as well. So yeah, without as many of the GPS and the automatic controls that operate the system, just.
And there he goes again. Thank you, Telstra. Look, just to cut to the chase. Oh, he's back. To cut to the chase, if you're flying an aircraft and you have your compass go out or whatever it might be, the solution is number 1, ATI mode, number 2, altitude, unless you know that there's something directly above you. If you go up, you're not going to hit something sideways.
Yes.
So
yeah, that's right, man.
The 2 pieces of magic there.
Go up, up, up. Yeah, exactly. So that was a lesson learned there from me. Absolutely.
We've got I've got one more that I want to show briefly today, and this is something from the New South Wales government. Western Sydney Stadium is almost complete, 70% complete. Let's have a look.
Look at that. So whereabouts is this again, Greg?
This is the Western Sydney Stadium.
Oh, righto. You know what I love about all these different videos that are getting made? This one obviously be commercial, but I reckon that drag one that was played earlier was somebody domestic. And just all the, you know, it's not produced by a television company. To me, it's a lot more like GarageBand style vision that we're all getting the opportunity to see with these drones that people have got. You know, it's fantastic. I really enjoying the art that people are creating.
Yeah. So in this case, this is a stadium being built in Parramatta, so part of Australia, a 30,000 seat stadium being built. But look, just interesting to see different uses of drones every day. So we get to the end of our show today, and I want to thank everyone for participating and for being as part of the chat. Speaking of the chat, you may have noticed our little Nightbot in there. He's been plugging a couple of things. Dronebook. It's like Facebook for droners, so jump in there and sign up to that site.
That's gonna be really cool.
Oh, absolutely. As always, we would love you to subscribe and like, and especially after the show is over, please do comment on the video. It does help with our rankings and so forth. But
Greg, can I interrupt you for a second? There's some late news just come in.
Yes, late news.
Late news. And of course, next week we will have the music to go with it, won't we?
Absolutely.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people from all around the world, please like, subscribe, and share to Oz by Drone, of course, and iSpike, and all of the other people that Greg puts into the link. The late news that's just come in is that iSpike will be making a special guest appearance in Ken Heron's Thursday Night Live on October the 11th. Please book this one into your calendar, everybody. This is iSpike on Thursday Night Live, October the 11th. Ken Heron, be there. It's going to be huge.
It's going to be so huge that the mic's going to fall over.
You saw that.
So speaking of liking and subscribing, there's our channel link. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. We've got a Facebook page. We've got a Twitter page. We've got all of those kind of things.
I've just saw a request to crank the bike. Do we have 5 seconds for me to go and get the keys and I'll start it up?
Yeah, go and get the bike.
All right.
I'll go in the meantime,
the
meantime, the address 5/127 Princess Highway, Sylvania 2224, Australia. And if you want to share any of your video content, it's coming right now, and you're almost live as soon as we send that shot live.
Just put it in the chat. Who wants to see the startup?
There we go.
Right. It's been one of those shows again. It's all right, all learning, and I guess that I think that as the 5G expands, we're going to get a little bit more smoother as you go along, Greg. So I'm just trying to give you a little bit of a chin up, mate, because every show is a good show, man, and it's all a learning experience. It's frustrating for you, and I can appreciate. Please don't bash your head against the wall too much after. But we're going to go. I'll go back over there and fire it up. Is that what we'd like to hear?
Absolutely. Let's hear it.
All right, let's do it. This is for everybody. Oz by Drone, guys.
The iSpike trike.
I don't know if you can hear me over here, but we're going to smash it. This is what we do. Oh, hang on. Shit. Just in case we do take off, Jeff.
You've got to do it with the helmet.
Contact. Oh, hang on, I better pull the zip again.
And there he goes again. Thank you to our wonderful sponsors, Telstra, for their wonderful internet. You disappeared again midway through that. Telstra, thank you. Wirecast, thank you.
How'd you go about that one?
You disappeared halfway through. Telstra died again, you know.
Oh,
it's one of those days.
I probably blew the thing up, didn't I?
You blew up the internet, Spike.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. It's good to have you on here, Ken here. And remember, the 11th of October, everybody, and of course, every Sunday, Oz by Drone and iSpike, myself, I'll be doing some lives coming up as well. Please like, share, subscribe as it goes on and on. We do smash it out there. Greg puts a lot of effort into Oz by Drone. These are great shows. I really appreciate coming on. And of course, next week, I was so ready. As you can see, all the effort I put in here to make the studio look good for you, Greg, and I'll do it again. And I'm looking forward to, I understand we've got the 28th of October with a special guest as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we're having you back on the 28th of October. In the meantime, Sky Stories Studio, stay around, or actually Sky Stories, the link that I put in the chat at the very beginning, I'll put it in at the end here. After the show's over, could you jump on there and I'll have a quick chat to you? That would be awesome. Everyone else, thank you for joining. Thank you for being part of the show. Are there any chat comments here? Just having a quick look. Thank you, Greg, and I spoke for the content. Good for you, Spike. Ken Heron, amen. Australian internet runs in reverse. Someone was asking if I've got NBN here. For those not in Australia, the NBN is never bloody networking. Never bloody working. Oh, it's supposedly the next generation network. No, I don't have it here yet. And the reason why they wanted to put it on some old technology stuff, and we're waiting for this technology choice, but another story for another day. But for now, that's all. Please do like, subscribe. Please do join Dronebook, and see you next time. Bye for now.